Okay, Dave, at the front of the boat, which we call the bow, you've got your bow rope for mooring up the boat. You also got your gas locker. In your gas locker, you've got 2 bottles, one connected at the moment and turned off. To turn it back on, just follow the directions on the regulator to turn it back on. Best thing to do is on a night time is to turn that regulator off to prevent any leaks. If there was any gas leaks, the best thing to do is set the regulators turned off, open all the windows and give us a phone call. We've not had a leak this year, so you're okay. You do have a spare bottle and a gas spanner, so you'll never run out of gas and you're fine. You've also got a hose pipe for your domestic fresh water to top up. That is done into the little water top here. Undo that, standpipe, put your hose pipe in and top up your domestic water. Best to do that every couple of days to keep topping up so you don't run out. At the front of the boat you've got your doors. You need to have these shut when you're in the locks to prevent any water going into the boat. You've got your headlights you'll need on for the tunnels, chimney, and also be careful and mindful of your TV aerial with trees. You don't want to start damaging that because you'll lose your TV. Happy? Okay, let's move down the boat.
No problem.
Okay, Dave, on board, on the top deck, you'll see you've got your boat hook, your gangplank and your ash pole. Boat hook for retrieving your ropes if you've dropped them or anything in the canal that you might have dropped in. Gangplank, if you can't get the boat right up to the canal side edge, you can use a gangplank to get on and off. The ash pole, mainly used in when you've got like there's a bit of wind and the bow of the boat and you're trying to turn it around, you need to manoeuvre it. So use it like a bit of a gondola on the bow of the boat. Your centre rope, this is what we call a lifeline. All the times that you moor up or cast off, you should be getting on and off the boat with this rope. It's the last piece of kit, I don't want anybody getting on and off the boat at the bow when you're mooring up or you're casting off, because if the bow comes away and somebody slips between the canal side wall and the boat and you do something at the rear of the boat to turn the boat, you could squash them. So everything at the rear, then you're in control. Okay? At the stern end of the boat, you've got your stern rope and you've also got your tiller and your tiller pin. With your tiller, on an evening, best thing to do with your tiller is to remove it and place it inside the boat. Same with your life buoy. Your life buoy is there for any man overboard drills. If there was a man overboard, the best thing to do is keep your eye on the person who falls in the canal. Shout man overboard, let everybody know around you, don't be scared of it. If they're near the propeller, you need to stop the engine as soon as possible, but do not lose eye contact. Tell them to try and stand up, retrieve them out of the canal as quickly as possible, and then get them to A&E as well. Happy? Any questions?
No, fine.
Good. If we move on now to the engine. Whenever you're going into the engine bay, Dave, always shut the rear doors, stern doors to the cabin. We don't want anybody, that's it. We don't want anybody coming along and stepping out of the boat and straight down the engine. So there we go. So in the engine, you'll see a nice big engine bay. 3 things to remember: hatch, oil and water. How we do it. So hatch, the weed hatch. Simply undo the T-bar. And remove the weed hatch. Okay, what you'll find down there is the actual propeller of the boat. The reason we need to do this, canals are shallow. There may be some rope or some plastic bag or something like that, and if you get it wrapped around your propeller, it's going to strain the engine and you'll hear a difference in the engine, so you need to clear it. Every morning, check your weed hatch is clear. If you're cruising and you notice a difference in your wash at the back of the boat, just pull over, moor up, clear your weed hatch, and you're happy to carry on cruising. One big safety point though: whenever you go into the weed hatch, you must make sure the keys of the boat are in your pocket. Be careful of fishing hooks and things like that, but the best way to get that clear, if there's anything in there, is to get your hand in there, root around and get it clear. Happy? Any questions?
No, fine.
Okay, always replace it securely. There we go. And make sure it's nice and tight, because if it's not, one of the common causes of a boat sinking is the weed hatch not being secured properly, propeller going, fill it full of water, back end drops. Okay? Oil. It's a diesel engine, it's got an oil dipstick, same as your car. Down the right hand side, is your dipstick. In the morning, just check that it's level, up to the maximum mark, and you're happy.
Yeah.
Last but not least, your water. Your reservoir's there, tells you exactly what the level's at. It's a visual check in the morning when the engine's cold. Yeah. You can see that there, you're happy. Yeah. So, hatch, oil and water, how we do it. Yeah. Once we've done that, we can start the engine. By starting the engine, we can also check that the gearing's okay, the linkages are okay, and that your weed hatch is secure properly. So to start the engine, simply place the key in the ignition, turn it to on, you get a power signal. The little sign there is the heat plugs. Because it's a diesel engine, the glow plugs will heat up the engine, the fuel, and then also the injectors will fire up. About 5 seconds, and then turn to start. Once the engine's started, just have a visual check. If you look this way, Dave, the throttle here, you see it's gone into gear, yeah? But mainly, the weed hatch is not leaking. Yeah. To stop the engine, just turn the key all the way to the left. And then return to neutral position. Happy with that?
Yeah.
There are your engine checks.
Right.
Every morning, if you do them, you won't have any problems.
Right, fine.
Once you're finished, replace the covers. Job's good.
Yep.
Okay? Any questions so far?
No, fine.
Excellent. The electrics for the boat. What you've got is a 12 volt system and you've got a 230 volt system. All right? Your electric is regenerated via your engine charging your batteries, so bear that in mind. If you've got the microwave on for 3 hours, you're going to drain your batteries. So you always need to remember the supply on your boat is from what you generate and what you use. So we turn everything on. Your bilge pump is on automatic. What that means is if any water, excess water goes into the engine bay, your bilge pump will pump it out automatically, so you don't have to worry about that. Right. So that's your 12 volt system, all live inside. So your lights, your TV, your fridge, everything else will be working out on the 12 volt system. If you wish to plug something into the ring main and have 230 volts, just turn the main switch on there and the RCD on. That now has given you power to your sockets. So you can charge your mobile phone, you can play a PlayStation, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, central heating. There's a full manual on the central heating, but all you got to do is set the timer and press the button, and that will give you the heating on for an hour at a time, and then you can set the timers in the morning to do it as well, so it comes on an hour before you get out of bed. Yeah. But you've got a coal fire on board. If you keep that on tick over, you won't need any central heating. It'll be nice and cosy. Yeah. Happy with that?
Marvellous, yeah.
Excellent. When you leave the boat, if you leave the boat for a long period of time, it's always good to make sure everything that's on standby is turned off, any lights are turned off, and if you want to, you can actually turn the switches off. Remember to turn them back on when you come in. Okay? Yeah. Okay, Don, this is a galley, what we call a kitchen, and in here you've got all your facilities, from your gas hob. I've shown Dave how to turn the gas on, yeah. And obviously when you're using it, make sure you're in attendance of the cooker at all time, because the boat rocks. You don't want your food falling off. Yeah. Okay. And you've got your kitchen sinks, a draining board. You've got a fresh water pump as well, which is filtered. Yeah. And on your left-hand shoulder there, you've got your oven and grill. Below your fridge with a freezer drawer as well. In all the cupboards, you've got your cups, wine glasses, crockery, plates, saucers, and you've got plenty of storage in these cupboards for your food. Yep. And everything that you need. We've also got some cleaning equipment that we provide for you to help keep the boat clean. Safety aspect in the galley, fire extinguisher on the wall there, as is the fire extinguisher at the rear of the boat, yeah. And a fire extinguisher at the front of the boat. Yeah. Yeah. Also, you have a fire blanket right here too. Okay. So make sure you know where they are in case you actually require them. Okay. Yeah. But if there was a fire, try to tackle it as best you can, but the boat's insured. I'd rather you be safe and just get off the boat and let the fire brigade deal with it.
Okay.
Happy?
Yes, thank you.
Any questions?
No, I think I've got everything I need here.
Great stuff.
Marvellous.
Okay, Don, we're in the saloon lounge area of the boat. As you'll see, you've got a nice log burning stove for the romantic evenings. Makes a nice atmosphere. Your TV, DVD player runs off 12 volt, but like I said to Dave, make sure you turn things off standby when you're leaving the boat to save your electricity. Yeah. You've got your dinette area for sitting down, the table and the legs. Just make up your table. You can put that up straight away once we've left and have your meals on there, play games. You've got all your selections of games. Your boater's handbook, which you've already been sent by email. Okay, if you have any problems while you're en route and you've forgotten what we've taught you, just pull over, have a cup of tea, have a quick read, and this will jog your memory.
Fantastic.
Other than that, anything else on the boat that you need to know about is in your operator's manual in here. And in this operator's manual, it gives you a full list of all procedures on board the boat. And last but not least, once you've finished your holiday, if you kindly fill in the feedback form to help us improve our service or just to say how good we are, that'd be great. Thank you very much. Okay, right, we'll go get Dave and get underway.
Marvellous, thank you.
So what we'll do now is we'll turn the engine on, let the engine run for 5-10 minutes, get it warmed up before we set off and do a bit of cruising.
Yeah, fine.
If you want to start it. Good. All you do, put your arms, do like that, and adjust the weight flat there. Okay, so last man on board, steering rope, and the rear. Okay, forward gear. Okay, Don and Dave, what we're going to go to now is the lock operation. I'm going to teach you how to operate the gearing of the lock mechanisms, the doors, all the safety procedures that you need and the communication to get yourselves up the locks and down the locks safely. Alright, the first thing we need is what we call a windlass. It's one of these. Alright, you'll see the windlass got a handle. That should always be pointing outwards towards you, and always when you've got these in your hands and they're on the gearing, never let go of them. Okay, remove them and keep hold of them. The other piece of kit you need on these locks is an anti-vandal key. It's called a handcuff key. We use these to operate a safety mechanism to stop people wasting water. So you want to take one of these each and a windlass each, because even though, Dave, you'll be operating the boat, you still need to know how the gearing works. Happy? Any questions?
No.
Good. Okay, so to operate the gearing, first thing we need to do is release the anti-vandal mechanism. Place a handcuff key into the mechanism, give it a turn, releases a bolt. When you're finished with the locks, you must make sure that they're all replaced how they were. The windlass. Fit the small part of the windlass onto the gearing and keep hold of the windlass at all times. To get the paddle up to allow water to go out of the bottom gate or to allow water to come in at the top gate, you wind it forward like this. That operation will allow a paddle to be raised on the gates and allow the movement of water. What you must also know is how to shut it down as quickly as possible in the case of emergency. You remove the lever and then wind it backwards. Remove the windlass and then solve the problem of what is wrong. That also is the same way to drop a paddle once the water's full in the lock, to drop the paddle and stop water from going in. Because once your lock's full, the last thing you want to do is to leave paddles open because it wastes water. Happy?
Yeah.
Once the lock chamber is empty, open up the lock gates, but take your time. Use the heel stones on the ground and just push them open slowly. The lock gates can weigh about 3 tons, so don't overexert yourself.
If you're a single narrowboater, you still must open both lock gates as not to damage the bottom of the gates. Once the boat's in and up into the lock, and once the lock chamber is full and your gates are the top gates are open, whilst the boat is passing through the gates, you can then close down the gate paddles and the ground paddles and leave the lock as you found it, all gates closed, all paddles down and closed.
Okay then, so you've completed your first lock, and the last thing you want to make sure when you finish your lock is that all the paddles are secure and all the gates are closed, so you're not wasting water. Another way of saving water is I've just noticed that there's another narrowboat just come to the rear of the bottom lock. So we're going to wait here now, mid-lock, because there's 6 more locks after this. If we go up on our own, we'll use 6 locks worth of water. If that boat comes behind, he's going to use 6 locks worth of water. So we're going to do what is known as sharing the locks. 2 narrowboats sharing a lock. And that's what you must always try and do on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal and on any broad canal. Just hang slack, wait 10-15 minutes, have a cup of tea and share the locks. So that's what we do. Is there any other questions?
Yes, I wonder if it's possible. Can you open the gate paddles first instead of the ground paddles? Does it matter which order?
No, you must not open the gate paddles first before the ground paddles. When you get your boat into the lock and you're starting to fill the lock, you must open the ground paddles first. This allows water to come in underneath the boat and raise the boat up above the sill and out of danger of the gate paddles. The gate paddles are a lot higher than your boat. So if you open up them first, you have potential danger of sinking your boat because the water will shoot straight out and go straight into your bow. That's why we close all the doors and all the windows. So remember, when you're letting water into a lock, it's ground paddles first and then gate paddles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Okay, Dawn and Dave, you're now going to go down a lock for the first time. What you need to bear in mind now is that now that you're in the lock with the boat, is before you actually let any water out of the chamber, that all the ground paddles and the gate paddles are closed. So Dawn, you'll be checking that in a minute. Dave, you must make sure the boat is fully forward at all times but not touching the gates, okay? As you can see over there, the sill marker, once the water drains down, you will see a sill. It's imperative that you are forward of that sill so you don't tip the boat. All right, but don't worry about it, stay nice and calm, we'll let the water out, you'll go down nice and steady and away you go.